Good day and welcome to another educative episode of Business and Economy. I am Ile Emeje. Foreign reserve is top priority of most countries of the world, with attendant plans that can improve a nation's foreign exchange base and reduce or minimize capital flight. However, most developing countries are faced with the challenge of capital flight, especially in nations where domestic investment has been on a low performance. Development experts have noted that continuous and persistent build-up of capital flight would over time result in a cumulative negative effect on domestic investment. According to these experts, the major reason for capital flight in developing countries, including Nigeria, is as a result of low industrialization, poor investment in developing in-house facilities as required for boosting medical tourism, providing the needs of our local health professionals, lack of patronage for them, and the likes. These have led to depletion of foreign reserve as medical facilities of the concerned countries have lost their best professionals. Amid global economic quagmire, some countries of the world are working assiduously to reverse the tide in order to pay serious attention to the local economy, particularly on local production and for homegrown complementary medicine. I have two guests with me on the program. They are an industrial pharmacist, Dr. Ben Amodu, and my colleague, senior economist, Mr. George Emine, who are joining us after the business news to analyze measures to reducing capital flight and also to enhance the value of the naira, create more employment opportunities, and improve the nation's gross domestic product, the GDP, with a preference to addressing capital flight. Stay with us. A total volume of 917.19 million stocks were bought and sold by investors on the Nigerian capital market last week, valued at 14.8 billion naira across 19,513 deals. Cornerstone Insurance led the gainers list with a profit of 26.32%, followed by Seplat Petroleum and Linkage Assurance, increasing with 10% and 9.43%. However, Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, Cavitin, and Honeywell Floor PLC were top on the laggards, depreciating with 33.7%, 16.7%, and 14.5% accordingly. In the course of transaction, the Financial Services Index dominated the general activity level with 648.2 million stocks, while the consumer goods industry and the conglomerates contributed 102.6 million stocks and 36.2 million stocks in that order. During the week, benchmark index dipped by 0.45% to close at 52,215 units and 28 trillion naira. Meanwhile, the naira sells on the parallel market for 644 naira to the dollar, 774 naira to the pound sterling, and 660 naira to the euro.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, Nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
Sir, can you please give us the permission to search you? You can go.
Is this a movie? If it happened.
Officer, I beg carry and go station. When our Oga come, you come meet am for there.
Hey, Mr. Man, I cannot do that.
Tell your guy to come to our station when he returns.
Am I in a movie? If it happen,
Mama, please.
Mama, please.
Thank God you're here. Do the needful.
Mama, please, just 3 weeks now.
Why did you invite us to come help chase your tenant now?
This is a civil matter now.
Is this a movie? If it happen,
If we follow
The new police law.
As I mentioned earlier, our focus on today's program is how to improve our local economy through the reduction of medical tourism, which is also a point to just think on when it comes to the maintenance of our foreign reserve in the country. I have two analysts with me, as I said earlier. They are the head of Natural Medicine, University of Abuja, Dr. Ben Amodu, and my colleague, senior economist, Mr. George Emine. You are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank
Doctor.
you, madam. Thank you.
All right. My senior colleague, you're welcome to this edition of the program.
thank you for having me.
Okay. Let's start by asking this pertinent question. Some developing countries are faced with the challenge of capital flight. Doctor, let me throw this one at you. What do you think has led to capital flight in developing countries, including Nigeria?
A lot of issues. You say developing country, that means we are developing.
Okay.
And because of the issue of development, we are just undergoing development. We are unable to catch up in all areas required to develop as a country. And those areas include industrialization, issues of simple production of medicaments based on APIs that have been sent from India, China, and what have you. And then the preference of our professionals to go and buy these already made products and flood them into our markets. That made them not to even have any startups, any need to begin basic production or even research into those chemical areas themselves.
A lot of people are yet to be abreast with the fact that medical tourism takes a chunk of our capital flight. What can you say to that?
So much, over 600 billion in the medical. The figure is not a steady figure. It's the figure that changes because it's continuously a requirement for people to travel abroad for all kinds of illnesses. We have very qualified doctors, as we have said on this program. Saudi Arabia used to come to UCH to do some medical exams and all that in those ages. Because we have the professionals, we have the medical equipment, we have the trained manpower and all that. A lot of those people have gone abroad on capital flight and left the country empty. So those are the reasons. They fear that the person I'm going to meet may not do this thing well. Just the fear is enough to send them to go abroad and all that. And the fear of also not even believing on what we have here. And in most areas, we have even advanced more than what they are running to go and meet.
You think so?
Why not? Because I read a report yesterday in the Journal of Newcastle University. They worked on some plant in the bush and found out that it has anticycline for sickle cell, which I have been telling people here. I have my own set. Even the area the research is coming from, that they say they have proved beyond reasonable doubt that it can tackle and manage and cure sickle cell. Because it's coming from a London university, Newcastle. The belief is there. These people don't have 10 heads. This is the same knowledge that is shared all over the world. What they have done there is what I have done on sickle cell. And it is working. It was published yesterday by Guardian newspaper, Moanya, and I read through it. I said this is a welcoming development, so that when they see our own, they will now believe that these things are possibility, that these plants you see have a lot of phytochemicals which don't have side effects and which can bring the necessary results we intend to. You can imagine somebody with a big wound on the leg. The next recommendation is to cut the leg because it's diabetic. And this can be rescued. Because we have products now that can heal that no matter how bad.
You mean alternative medicine?
Yes, if it's reported early, we can do that. My specific area of research is communicable and non-communicable diseases. Communicable diseases are diseases of lifestyle. You meet a lady, you don't know the lady very well, you take her out, maybe she's HIV positive, hepatitis B and all that, and at the end of the day, you collect it. Or tuberculosis. Then another area is communicable and non-communicable disease. These are diseases we age into, either we like it or not. As we age, we become hypertensive, become diabetic, we become cancer for us over 40 men try to develop with the enlarged prostate. Then you talk about kidney end disease, which is very rampant now. Then you talk about asthma, arthritis, and stroke, which cannot be reversed anywhere in the world. You can be on physiotherapy bed for years without any movement, because stroke is a major issue due to non-easy flow of blood around the human system. But to God be the glory. We reverse stroke today in Nigeria. Stroke, that the mouth is bent and the person is walking as if he's falling and he needs support. We will treat you and you get back to normal with your mouth back, your speech returned, and you walk straight without the need to hold any distance.
My senior colleague, what do you think are the reasons for capital flight in Nigeria or in developing countries?
You see, I will first and foremost blame our government, because it is the duty of the government to inform the people. When we have a government that has refused to inform the people, those people tend to lack the belief and trust in these areas that they run to Europe and other parts of the world to resolve. Meanwhile, those things are better resolved here in Nigeria. Can I give you my personal experience?
We are going to come to that. But let me correct something. If you say that it is a lack of, you want to blame the government for lack of maybe giving information to the people. I'm sure you know that what we are doing here too is we are giving information. We have a lot of followers that are on this program with us, and we are giving a lot of information to them. Maybe you may think maybe it's not enough. Maybe. Okay, Doctor, virtually all leaders in Africa do not submit themselves to their local medical facility, but embark on tourism, on medical tourism. Yes. Not just leaders. People, the high and the mighty that have the money, they prefer to go abroad for medical checkup. Is it a case of lack of trust or negligence on the part of doctors?
Lack of trust, negligence, lack of particular equipment not available from what they hear and all that. Maybe hearsay.
What they hear or see?
Yes, what they hear and see, and the way they hear that a lot of people have gone abroad, this medical brain drain and all that. They are not encouraged, so they feel that it's better to go up there. And when they go there, most of these people are attended to by Nigerians. from my records, from what I hear. So those are the issues. But those things they are running for are even better handled. Can I shock you? What Ekweremadu is going through there could have been resolved by my combination of products. Can you imagine that? Not in every case you have to replace kidney. Kidney can be worked on and those things reversed, just like an eye with glaucoma and cataract. Don't have to be operated on. It can be naturally reversed. The optic nerve here, some products are taken, it gives it the signal goes to the eye, those worn out tissues are replaced, and the intraocular pressure, which is the cause of glaucoma, drops from 25 to 9 to 10, which is normal over a period of time.
Okay.
Which is better than you opening up the eye, and before you know, because of the complexity, the number of vessels that are running, you cut this, you touch this that you are not supposed to touch, causing more complications.
Okay. Can you just bring us to the understanding of how much we lose to capital flight year in, year out in Nigeria and maybe other countries of the world?
Well, for the other country, I may not be conversant with it now, but in particular, because this program is related to us, over $600 billion. And the thing is not static, it's always changing, because
flexible.
The need for this is a continuum as long as we live as human beings and as long as we get sick and there's a need for treatment and they believe. And our practitioners too are aiding it because they feel like quickly referring to either India, China, when you have, and on your program I have said a person who had congestive heart failure, enlarged heart, he had a liver enlarged, filled with water, heart filled with water, kidney retains 75%, he has prostate, he has high BP, he has diabetes.
Or one person?
Yes, he's sitting down, a former governor, he cannot get up, he cannot walk. And he was in a highbrow hospital here for 6 months.
So what happened?
He couldn't. And when my patients visited him, he said, His Excellency, you've been here for some time. Can you follow us to where we take medication? He said, yes, I can. Madam, can you follow them? And Madam followed them. And they came. And today is history. In India,
Yes, okay.
in India, they said they need to replace his heart, his kidney, for him to be able to fly, and he will not live more than 1 year. He's with me now for 3 years. And while using his medication, the high sugar dropped to normal. His heart started functioning better than before, and he has started walking to the glory of God. And the wife sent me a text that my husband's heart is working better than before he became sick.
Okay, let's take a look at the impact the capital flight could cause on any nation of the world, especially in Nigeria. What are the effects of capital flight? If we continue to lose a lot of money to other countries in the name under the auspices of capital flight, what are the likely effects that we get in Nigeria?
So many effects. You can make reference to Sri Lanka. You can see what they are going through. Those are the kind of problems that will crop up in different parts of the world. In the gasoline price going up, in the CBN not having enough money to service sustainability of the country, unrest, riots, instability. So many things, madam, so many things.
How can we relate this to employment and employment generation and wealth creation for us if we buy products from other countries to Nigeria? What do we lose in terms of employment?
We are germinating those countries' economy. We are growing their economy. Anything we buy is an added up to them. And it's a minus for us here. For instance, we limited some 17 pharmaceutical products so that we can grow them here. We were able to go to some extent. We were able to stimulate their manufacturing here. It's a good policy. We should do more. And now that WHO has agreed that herbal medicines are accepted all over the world and should be used all over the world, why is our own reluctance? Only when it is pronounced from there, then we see that it's okay because they say it's okay. Nobody has the monopoly of the brain. So we should look at comparative advantage.
where we have the comparative advantage. We should go more for it, so that other countries of the world will start looking at that area. Okay, like I gave you an instance. I have my publication on tremor and Parkinson as far back as 2021. Tremor and Parkinson.
What is it?
It's a neurological disease where your hand shakes uncontrollably. It's a neurological disease. I have had my publication. If you go to the WHO website, they are just working on the animal model. But Nigeria has gone ahead and had a publication in a high-impact journal in the world. You are also aware of visits to my hospital, to my manufacturing lab in Apo here by American scientists who took my product to the US, analyzed it, and found it to work on cancer. It's published. You are also aware of my discovery of a product on Sabmal, malaria, which is published in the Indian Journal. It's a high-impact journal in the world. What have we been able to do to them? Whereas, I have a letter here, federal government sent me to go to Cuba as far back as 2012, where Cuba discovered a cure for cancer from the sting of a scorpion. They wrote me that you are one of those doing cancer research in Nigeria. Here is the letter. I should go to Cuba. I did not go because of international politics. I sent my two scientists, and they exhibited my product, used them for 2 days, and gave me an MOU, which I signed with the Cuba government, because everything in Cuba is owned by government, that they will represent me in Cuba and I will represent them here. Now, later, I discovered a product that cured 2 cancers. And if they are waiting, America has confirmed it. Yet, we are all sitting down as if nothing has happened. But that's why it's good for this type of enlightenment. Those who want to travel can travel. If Nigeria has the excessive dollars to give them as for payment of bills and all that. But those who cannot go anywhere, you should also help government to be aware. That is why Cuba wrote Nigeria that they have discovered a natural cure for cancer. So why should we have our own here and sit on it, and some people say, don't talk about it? Why?
Maybe it's a case of international conspiracy?
If you as a country can sit down and allow international conspiracy, even where their own is not working well, and you still allow it, well, God help us.
Let's look at this question that says, before the advent of modern medicine, otherwise known as orthodox, our people traditionally were able to treat virtually all ailments.
Yes.
Now that orthodox medicine seems to be failing, what is the hope of all this? How do we realign all of this?
This is why WHO has toured all the 7 continents of the world to find out what do people do when they are sick. And in their findings, they found out that over 80% of the world population depended on their various folklore medicines. What are folklore medicines? Herbal medicine, complementary and alternative medicine, natural medicine, herbalism. These are the different names.
Are they not the same thing? Do
they
they not mean the same thing?
They are the same thing. Okay. It's semantics. They are the same thing. This is why WHO, after that visit, says every continent of the world, go back to your traditional medicine. But you must do 2 things. Are they harmful for human consumption? If the answer is they are not harmful. Are they stable to be formulated into a product? If it's okay, go ahead and formulate them. Even the most important issue of effectiveness, efficacy, is not mentioned by WHO. But for me, in my lab, the first thing I do is this thing efficacious for what I want to use it for. That is the first thing. I will test in an animal experiment to know this Sabmal that I have, what is the percentage in its effectiveness against malaria, which I got 97%. And it was compared with chloroquine. It was compared with parametamine, which are the best drugs in the world.
And what are you doing to enlighten the people
and
even the government?
No. We are on. We have done a lot of things. The stage we are now is clinical trial, and we have some professors who are white from South Africa We are in touch with them. They keep on telling us, because some information they have about our country, we don't have. Our drug has been registered in South Africa, and the clinical trial is to commence in Nigeria. We are waiting for them to arrive, but they keep on telling us that there are issues with us in terms of security.
Okay.
You know, this is why all this period, I will ask them to come, security. So if God one day, they say, okay, your security has stabilized, we will come. Then we just do that clinical trial. Haven't done that clinical trial, there will be no issues again. And please, on record here, let Nigerians be aware. I was investigated in over 90 countries of the Commonwealth, 153, to find out how did this man discover Savma, which beat chloroquine and beat Daraprim 88 days. And is not using the mechanism of action that these two uses, and it has no side effects. Until they reach the 90th country in the Commonwealth who did not know anything about Savma, then they got back to me that they are happy to work with me. And that is how I got the manufacturer of Harfan, an American, visited my house in Apo here, a white man. How did this man come about this discovery? And to God be the glory, they never found that I stole somebody's formula somewhere, that the research are all original to me. So Nigerians should be encouraged. We should beat our own drum. We should not wait for other people to beat our drum.
Okay. So do you see all of this? If we take into natural therapy, do you see all of this reducing our capital flight and improving our economy?
Of course, build us, give us respectability in the Committee of Nations, and so many other things. Okay. Recall that Trump was the president of America. He said we are fond of marrying and killing ourselves like that, that we have not discovered anything. Will you take the discovery of a product that cures cancer of the colon and cancer of the lungs as a mere discovery?
Okay. My senior colleague, you will agree with me that a lot of our leaders, or those that are up there, the high and mighty that have the resources to spend, will go to any extent to spend any amount of money in order to receive maybe treatment for one kind of ailment or the other. Is it a case of not believing in what we do here, or is it a case of lack of awareness? What is your response?
Well, I don't think it is lack of awareness at all, because they know these things. The media has been reporting a lot of these things, so they know, because they subscribe to all those media organizations, be they print, electronic, and so on. I think it is just because they want to spend their monies abroad, and those discoveries are not coming from them or their relations.
Yes.
Because if it were coming from them or their relations, I'm very sure they'll publicize it. The whole world will know about it. But you know, in Nigeria, personally, I've done some things where we submitted to different government agencies. The next thing we see is those things are carried along without our knowledge. They give it to one person that we never knew about, who did not know how we came about those things. So these are the problems we have in Nigeria. That is why I said, because it's not coming from them or their relation. That is why.
Give your example.
Okay, then one major problem that I know with our leaders, or with some of our leaders, or those that are wealthy, so to say, is the problem of negligence on the part of the doctors, nurses, or medical personnel. How do you react to this? Whether it has made them not to believe in the efficacy, whether these drugs are working or not. He has emphasized that if we can maybe change over to alternative therapy, it will reduce a lot of capital flight on our economy.
Give you an example.
In our economy. But again, how sure are we that what he's saying is true, whether his drugs are working or not? Our focus is on capital, how to reduce capital flight, but how efficacy can this be? That will be the problem of many people.
Let me now give my personal experience, why I believe so much in alternative medicine. In October 2020, I was diagnosed of kidney failure. I was getting sick, I was emaciating like by the minute. I weigh 72 kg. But by December 2020, I weighed 42 kg. That was very harsh. I started going hospital here, there. They'll test for typhoid, test for malaria. I'll come down, they treat, it comes back until it was discovered that I had kidney failure. My both kidneys had failed. At the teaching hospital where I was eventually diagnosed, they did the ECSR test, which is the test that will show the level of kidney damage. Eventually, I was booked for 3 sessions of dialysis every week. Told to begin immediately and make sure I don't miss any session because my kidneys are gone. And immediately begin to look for money for transplant in India. But because I've had contact with Dr. Ben Amodu here, as soon as I came out of the hospital premises, I called him. I said, Daddy, where are you? I want to come and see you. He said, okay, I'm at home. Where are you coming from? I said, Gwagwada. I said, what did you go there to do? As soon as I got to him, I dropped the results for him. He went through the result. He said, George, you are aware we can start treatment immediately. And we started treatment immediately. Today I weigh 65 kg. And all those things I suffered are gone. I could not walk for 100 kilometers unless I rest for 3 to 4 times so I could walk 100 kilometers. Because I refused to go down, to remain down. Now, many people who saw the way my situation was, they are seeing me today and they're asking questions.
How many people saw you, your colleagues in the office,
very well, my colleagues,
your
my
contemporaries,
neighbors, and a lot of persons.
All of them can testify to this, that you went through that and now you are okay.
Yes, and because of that, many of them have been calling me that I should bring them to the same person, yes. Because they now believe in these things, seeing my own case as an example.
So how much will you have spent if you travel abroad? How much have you saved for us as a country in the area of capital flight?
I have saved over 20 million naira.
Yes.
I've saved over 20 million naira.
Okay.
Apart from that, if I can interject, ma, what was the reaction with the doctor?
Yes.
When you saw the doctor later?
Yes. When I saw the doctor later, the doctor was honing. I was walking on the street. He kept honing. Mr. George, I said, this person knows me very well. When I saw him, I said, doctor, he said, where are you receiving your dialysis? I said, doctor, I didn't receive even 1 session of dialysis. He said, but you have recovered. How manage? And I told him about the alternative medicine. He was skeptical. He said, okay, you know that the kidneys don't like these herbs. I said, yeah, that is why the kidneys behave themselves when they saw the herbs. He laughed. I said, the person treating me, he see me working at the University of Abuja. He's the assistant director of the Department of Alternative Medicine. He said, okay, I've heard about it, but not met him. So these things really work. I said, doctor, you are seeing me now.
Okay, I'm going to collect some information from you for more verification to confirm this. Okay, we'll take a break now and we'll return shortly.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we will realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite. This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of ASO Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, ASO Television Star Times Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, and UHF Channel 38.
In case you just joined us, you are onto business and economy, and we are discussing measures through which we can reduce capital flight, especially on medical tourism. The guests are Dr. Ben Amodu and my colleague, senior economist, Mr. George Emine. You were making some points before we went on the break, and the question I asked was, and I'm still asking you, is how much have you saved from capital flight, or saved Nigeria from losing if you had traveled abroad? And again, what would be your advice for a lot of people that are out there that are also planning to travel out for the treatment of one ailment or the other? Our focus is how to reduce our capital flight. But before then, if you are out there and you want to join us on the discussion, or you want to make a contribution to our topic of today, you will call us on the numbers that will be displayed on our screen. Thank you.
Yes.
Your response.
Yes, today the average kidney costs about 10 million naira. That's the average.
Okay.
Some cost much more than that.
All right, excuse me. Let me just call the number. The number to call us on is 0905 7408 127. The number again to call is 090 5740 8127. You can call us now. All right. You were talking about the average money spent on capital flight.
Yes.
Okay.
It's about 10 million naira, the average kidney. Some go times 2 of that amount. Now, before you go to India, you pay for return tickets, and you must go with at least one person who will look after you there. That person you pay for a hotel for that person to stay, from which the person comes to take care of you, look after you. All these are monies that the Indian government would have benefited. But today, in my own case, they no longer benefited because I was aware of this treatment and I quickly subscribed to this treatment. Now, because many people saw my condition, I said from 75 kg, I dropped to 42 kilograms. So it was serious. Many have been coming to me because I've advised several persons. There's one of my friends whose daughter was diagnosed of hole in the other 3 months. They were to go to Europe for the surgery, which would have cost about 6.8 million or so. I said, let's go to this same person who treated me. Today, the daughter is over 2 years. She has started working, and she's in school currently.
She was not working, was she?
There was another person I took, one person who knew about my case, who worked with the NDLA, told that person, come call George. The lady had HIV/AIDS. I took her to Dr. Ben Amodu, and she's singing praises today. There are several other cases like that that I've referred to him, and I also want to tell Nigerians and the world today that we have the cure. Your kidneys can be revived if you make use of these alternative medicines. That's
And
my message.
if we do that, what will be the implication on our capital flight?
Of course, all those monies will come back to Nigeria. Instead of using them to boost the economies of other countries, they will boost the economy of Nigerians.
Okay.
Yes.
Now that the world, including Nigeria, is working towards economic recovery.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a call now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Mrs. Sadiq by name. Can we get Dr. Amodu's number?
Okay. You want to get Dr. Amodu's number? You have no contribution, no question. If you have a question, can you go ahead and ask him? Ask him here first. Oh, we lost that call. Please, you may do well to call us back. Okay. Yes. So if we embark on local production, not only on herbs, maybe our local production of other products and even services, what do we stand to gain in relation to capital flight?
Yes, the over 60 billion naira that is spent on the average annually will no longer be spent. Okay. These monies will come back to boost the Nigerian economy. You know, one thing that I liked about these products, when you look at the body of the product, the things that were used, the ingredients, so to speak, and mostly the food we eat. Ugu, garlic, onions, pepper, this what we call green leaf and other things. And these are the things we consume on a daily basis without realizing that this food is medicine for us. So with that, of course, Nigeria will spend less, even in the manufacturing of these products, as opposed to the ones that were synthesized in a lab. Okay. So the country will only continue to gain from this. Okay. Dr. Amodu, as we round off, what else do you think the government needs to do in all of this to get our acts together for better ways in redressing capital
government should encourage us in partnership.
The government has been giving initiatives, intervention initiatives.
I don't want to be repeating on this program. I've always repeated. Interventions have been given. Those who have long legs got it. Those of us with short legs, we are yet to get it. And now, the University of Abuja's board has taken me to teach whatever I've done now to the entire world. We are very soon will start our program. We will use, since the university is on leave, we will use a kind of this herbal medicine day, which is coming next month, to sensitize people who will want to learn what I'm talking about here, who want to learn, which we are going to do through consultancy services. We will sensitize them by that coming for those who have been calling me that they want to participate in this program to themselves become specialists, since we make use of normal food to make them into medicines and what have you. So we will come here specifically for that program to sensitize, to let everybody know this Herbal Medicine Day, that is a WHO Day for Herbal Medicine. It's coming in August. Okay. We will unfold, do sensitization and unfold our diploma program that we want to teach people all over the world who are interested in this program. And it's going to be an online program for easy accessibility and what have you. You asked me one question which I nearly forgot. I want to confirm on this program that 70% of the drugs today in use come from folklore medicine. What I mean, Niado tree, the back of it was used to make aspirin. The small poppy plant in Pakistan, that is how we got morphine that is used for you women when you are doing you want to give birth and you have too much of pain. That morphine that is used is manufactured from the small poppy plant. So over 70%. Cinchona alkaloid, that's where we got quinine and co. Okay. Okay, maybe you may need to book for maybe another edition to come on the program. And for those of us that are out there, you wanted to make a call or to find out one thing or the other, but you couldn't get through, please contact ASO Radio and Television Services Business and Economy Desk for further information. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode of the program. Our guests have been Dr. Ben Amodu of the Natural Medicine Department of the University of Abuja and my colleague, senior economist, Mr. George Emine. I want to thank you for coming on the program today. My pleasure. And to you out there, our esteemed viewers and listeners, we sincerely appreciate your time with us on today's episode. Do have a wonderful week.